Cash. We are live Welcome to Money with Ash Cash. We are live every Monday, 12 p.m. on the Bank Mobile Facebook Live page. So today, we're going to take a little twist, right? Because in my travels, I work with a lot of people who are, worried about their money. They have questions about their money. But for some reason, I guess it's the times that we're living in, whether it is police brutality, police killing people, the current presidency, just, the lack of health care, just everything that's going on. It kind of seems like people are not necessarily losing hope, but people need some motivation. And so it's hard to navigate the world of what you need to accomplish for yourself individually when you're looking at what's happening from a perspective of, what's happening in the world. And so I wanted to give a motivational talk, or just 10 simple ways, right? So because, I believe that no matter what's happening in the world, nothing can stop you but you. And so this is Nothing Can Stop You But You, 10 ways to get out your own way. Fat shot, I'm also doing it on Instagram Live. So what's up to my Instagram Live folks? But we're going to start in 3 minutes, officially at 12. So share this video, send this video to whoever. I'm going to share it right now on my Facebook page. So give me a second. We're going to start at 12. Cheech Love, hello, appreciate you. All right, so I'm going to share this. So share this right now. If you're watching me live on Facebook, make sure you share this with your friends, your family. I really want to just give you some words of wisdom, some inspiration. How do you, if you feel stuck, how do you get out, right? How do you get out your own way? Because a lot of times when we feel stuck, it's really just us in our own way. And so, definitely share this with your friends, your family. Help you get unstuck. All right, I need to share it 2 more times. We're going live in 2 minutes. 2 minutes. We're going to go live in 2 minutes. Nothing can stop you but you. 10 ways to get out of your own way. I want you to get out of your own way. I want you to be prosperous. I want you to be successful. I want you to just take what you deserve, right? Because you deserve the best. And despite what's happening in the world today, anything is possible. Anything that you want out of life is possible. You just have to believe it. You just have to get out of your own way. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about how to get out of your own way. Make sure make sure you get a pen and paper also. I mean, you can always save it. You can always replay it. But make sure you get a pen and paper so you could just jot these down. Because I'm going to I'll give you 10 actionable ways that you could just get out your own way. You could achieve anything that you want out of life. All right, 1 more minute. We're going live 1 more minute. Live in 1 more minute. We're going live in 1 more minute. All right. All right, so welcome to Money Mondays with Ash Cash, brought to you by Bank Mobile, the all-digital app that's providing you with a financially empowering banking experience. If you're a student, make sure you go to bankmobilevibe.com. Check out what Bank Mobile has to offer. If you're not a student, just go to bankmobile.com and then check out the totally free banking app that is providing a financially empowering banking experience to 2 million plus customers. And so I am excited to be talking to you today because as we just think about 2017, right? 2017 has really been, it's been an interesting year, say the least. So when you think about new presidency, when you think about just everything that's happening in the world, from police killing, unarmed, black people and unarmed people, when you think about all of the laws and things, it's just a chaos, right? And so, despite that, though, there is still a lot of things that we have or we want to accomplish personally, that in order for us to do that, we just have to be focused, and so I wanted to give, so normally on Money Mondays, we talk about, money situations, or, I give you money tips, specific money tips. But today, we're talking specifically about, how can you get out of your own way? And so I'm going to give you 10 steps to that, right? 10 steps to getting out your own way. But it's important that as you are getting out your own way, as you're trying to get to that space in your life where you are maximizing your full potential and being all that you can be, that you remember that it's important to that you should be working to learn, not to earn. And what I mean by that is that the one currency that is yours forever is knowledge, right? So knowledge is the one thing that can never be taken away from you. You can give it away all you want, but it can never be taken away from you. So think about that, as you're working on yourself, as you're working on how do you maximize your full potential. And to that point, Jim Rohn would always say, you have to do more than you get paid for, because that's where the fortune is. And so, think about, in your day-to-days, and this is not the 10 steps yet, but these are just sort of like some bonus tips or whatever, is that in your day-to-day, think about what you're doing, right? A lot of times people are saying, well, you know what, I'm not doing X, Y, Z because I'm not being paid for it. Or, there's always this thing that we only see value in money, and not value in experience. And so I would say to you that in order to maximize your full potential, in order to be all that you could be, that you have to work more than you're paid for, because there is value in experience. There's been many times I've done things for free. I've done workshops for free. I've done seminars for free. I've done speaking engagements for free. I've done a lot of free things, and it helped build my story, help build my skills. So now I'm able to charge thousands of dollars for a speaking engagement. So I'm able to charge, thousands of dollars for a workshop. And that happened because I was willing to put in the work. And so, don't always look at your value as just how much are they paying me? How much am I getting paid for? You have to just look at the total compensation. Is there exposure that you're gaining from it? And be clear, exposure doesn't mean, are people, are you going to get a lot of likes, right? Exposure doesn't mean, are your Instagram followers going to go up, or your Facebook following is going to go up? No. When I say exposure, I'm saying, are you being exposed to the people that can potentially write the check? And so if I have a choice between, doing something for free that is just going to make me popular, or doing something for free that's in front of, some administrators from schools who usually book for college tours, I probably do the college tour, right? Nobody might hear about it, but at the end of the day, if I'm speaking in front of 20 people, 20 decision makers who can say yes or no to me, then I'm definitely going to do that. Another tip before I jump into the 10 ways to get out your own way is, in my book, I have a book out called Mind Right, Money Right, 10 Laws of Financial Freedom. And in the book, I talk about a concept that's called see more, be more. And so what that means is that the more that you see, the more that you're able to experience, the more opportunity you're going to have your mind is going to have to believe things are possible. And so, for instance, I grew up low income. I grew up in Harlem. And so growing up in Harlem, we really believed that Harlem was the world. And so, Harlem goes, if anybody doesn't understand Harlem, New York City, it goes from 110th Street to 145th Street, east to west. And so anytime, if I would say I was going downtown, I literally meant I was going to 110th Street. I didn't mean Battery Park. I didn't mean anywhere past what the real downtown is. But it wasn't until I started to read more books, it wasn't until I started to go outside of my comfort zone, if you will, that I started to realize that the world is bigger than Harlem. And then as I started traveling, there was just so many things that I was doing that exposed me to the world. And that exposure is what allowed me to just think in my mind, because it always starts with a thought process, right? Your success is going to start with your thought process. It doesn't start any place else but your thought process. So you're going to say to yourself, you're going to think, you're going to say, okay, you know what? I believe that I could do that too. Like as you start seeing other people. So for me, I started seeing other people who look like me, who maybe have a similar background, who were successful. And when I saw that, I said, okay, so if they could do it, then I started thinking, I started having the audacity to be like, you know what, if they could do it, I think I could potentially do it. And it was in, that that I started to kind of go after my dreams. And so the last point I'm going to give you before we jump into these 10 ways is that your dream is either going to liberate you or haunt you. And what I mean by that is that we all know what we should be doing in order to be successful, or what we want to do. And so a lot of times we fool ourselves, or we trick ourselves, or we convince ourselves that we don't want our dream, it's too hard to get, whatever it is. And so you have a choice to make, right? So if you're not going to go after your dream is either going to haunt you. You're either going to be introduced to people who are living the same dream, something, or it's going to liberate you. And I choose liberation. And the truth of the matter is that they're both difficult, right? They're both difficult to bear. So if you're going to allow your dream to haunt you, it's a difficult thing that you're going to be living with inside. You may look happy on the outside, but if you have a dream that you're not chasing, it's going to haunt you. Or if you start chasing your dream it's going to be difficult to begin chasing that dream, but that's also going to liberate you, right? You're also going to get to a point where you're going, regardless of how difficult it is, you're going to start to liberate you. So without further ado, I want to give you 10 steps of how to get out of your own way, because the reason why most people do not achieve their dreams, most people do not fulfill their dream, is because they are in their own way. So I want to give you 10 steps to get out of your own way. Step number 1 is to find your purpose, right? There's a quote that says, he who has a way to live can bear almost any how. So which means that if you don't know your purpose, then the likeliness of you being able to fulfill your dream is not possible. You have to understand, why do you want this dream? And really dig deep into the dream, right? Think about it. Do you want this dream because you want to be famous, because you want to prove people wrong? Or is there a deeper meaning to why you want this dream? So find your why, because once you find your why, anyhow you can bear, you'll be able to bear it. Number 2 is face your fears. Ambrose Rodman says, courage is not the absence of fear, but rather the judgment that something else is more important than fear. And so what that means is that there's going to be a lot of times when you're going after your dream that there's going to be fear that is seeming to stop you. And the good news is that fear is a good thing. I don't want, like, anybody who acts like they're fearless, then they're just not going after the right things. If you are fearless, if you fear nothing, then that's not, you're either lying or you're just going after the safe route. I want you, like, when you think about your goal, your ultimate goal, where you want to be in life, if that doesn't scare you, then you're not doing the right thing. And so fear is a good thing. I want you to be afraid, but not afraid to a point where it paralyzes you, not afraid to a point where it stops you from going after what you need to go after. And so, courage is not the absence of fear, right? So I want you to be courageous, but I'm not saying that you shouldn't be afraid, right? So courage is not the absence of fear, but rather the judgment. So you make a decision that something else, meaning your why, your purpose, is more important than fear. So in step number 2, to getting out your own ways to face your fears. Step number 3, I need you to fail hard and fail fast. Success is stumbling from failure to failure without the loss of enthusiasm. You know, one of my mentors would always say that failure isn't failing when you fail. Failure is about failing and giving up. And so I love this saying. I always say it. It's always too early to quit. You want to fail hard, fail fast. The faster you fail, the more you'll know what not to do, and the faster you'll get to what to do. You learn more from failure than you do from success, because if you get it right the first time, then the onus is on you to keep getting it right. But if you fail, you now understand, why did you fail? There's just so much learning and experience that comes from failing. Step number 4, push yourself to the limit. Compromise is a sign you'll pass on the road to mediocrity. So while you're going, chasing after your dream, you want to make sure that you're pushing yourself to the limit. You don't want to compromise your dream. You don't want to compromise with, what needs to be done, because at the end of the day, you have to push yourself. If you think you're going hard, then you need to go harder, right? The moment that you start feeling like, oh man, I'm too tired, I can't do this anymore, well, push yourself a little more, because that's how you maximize your full potential, is by always pushing yourself to the limit. Step number 5 is to kill the devil's advocate. So if you're just tuning in, this is the 10-step process of getting out your own way. And step number 5 is kill the devil's advocate. Those who say it cannot be done are usually interrupted by those who are doing it. And you know who the devil's advocates are. Devil's advocate is the person that's like, oh, well, what if this happens? Or, you sure you could do that? Or they're the people who try to insert doubt into your head, and they try to make you feel like, oh, you know what, I'm not going to be able to do this, or you can't do this, or whatever the case may be. Kill that noise. Even yourself, if you're the devil's advocate, kill that noise, because thoughts do become things. What you think and what you allow into your space, what you allow into your life, is going to get put into you subconsciously. And so you want to make sure that you're not surrounding yourself with people who have limits. And so that devil advocate, that friend that's always trying to tell you the bad or the negative and what may happen, man, stop talking to that person about your dreams. Stop being around that person. You need positive people in your life. You need people who are going to encourage you. And when I say positive people, I'm not saying that criticism or people trying to help you along the way is negative talk. I'm saying the people who don't want you to even try because they're like, it's too difficult. I'm talking about, like, if you have people, I have friends that I talk to all the time that I might give them an idea, and they never tell me I can't do the idea. They may give me a different way. They may say, oh, that sounds good, but what if this happens? What about looking at it this way? That's different than the devil's advocate, who is purposely trying to find the wrong, not the right. They're trying to find the wrong in everything you do. So kill the devil's advocate. Step number 6 is follow your gut feeling. Oprah Winfrey said, feelings are really your GPS system for life. When you're supposed to do something or not supposed to do something, your emotional guidance systems let you know. And so your heart, your intuition will never steer you wrong. It's in your favor. And so think about those intuitions, those emotions, those things, that gut feeling that's telling you whether you should or should not do something. Listen all the time. Do not ever go against your gut feeling. That spider sense, that super subconscious, that is the universe, that is God, that is whatever you believe in, talking to you, telling you what to do, what not to do. And so make sure that if you want to get out of your own way, if you want to achieve your dream, that you are listening to your gut feeling. Step number 7 is improve your surroundings. Be careful of the environment you choose, for it will shape you. Be careful of the friends you choose, because you will become like them. Will Smith, Jim Rome, they always say that you're the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. So think about that. If you're looking to be successful, if you're looking to achieve dreams, think about who are the 5 people that you're spending the most time with. Are those people successful? Are those people chasing after their dreams? Are those people, going in the direction that you want to go? Because if they're not, then you're going to be like them. So you want to make sure that you are protecting your surrounding. Step number 8, make the commitment. Unless commitment is made, there are only compromises and hopes, no plans. And so commitment is important. You could say whatever you want about your dreams. You could say whatever you want about your aspirations. You could say whatever you want about the life that you want to live. But if you're not committed to it, meaning that if you're not saying, you know what, not if I'm going to go after this, that I am going to go after that. I make a commitment that this is what I'm going to do, then your dream means nothing. It's really about that commitment. You have to make the commitment to say to yourself that, I'm committed to making this happen. I'm going to do everything that I need to do to make this happen, but you have to make the commitment. Step number 9 is take massive action now, right? Things may come to those who wait, but only the things that are left by those who hustle. And so you're going to have many situations where you have this great idea, this $1 million idea, but it's worth nothing if you don't grind, if you don't hustle, if you don't take massive action right now. When that intuitive voice, when that hunch, where that thing talks to you and says, yo, I want to do this, you got to take action, right? And so you have not made a decision on your dream if you have not taken an action towards it. And so make sure you're taking action. And then last but not least, dream big, live bigger. And so don't let low standards and expectations of the world cause you to aim beneath your nobility and ability. Dream big and live bigger. And that's pretty much just saying that in order for you to reach your dream bigger than what your current dream is. Because if your current dream scares you, what's the next level of that dream? And as you start, visualizing that next level of it, the level that you want to be at becomes nothing. And then once you reach that, now you have something else to go to. So, all right. So I'm going to give you a quick recap. This is Nothing Can Stop You But You, 10 steps to getting out your own way. Step number one is to find your purpose. He who has a why to live can bear almost anyhow. Step number 2, face your fears. Courage is not the absence of fear, but rather the judgment that something else is more important. Step number 3, fail hard, fail fast. Success is stumbling from failure to failure with no loss of enthusiasm. Step number 4, push yourself to the limits. Compromise is a sign you'll pass on the road to mediocrity. Step number 5, kill the devil's advocate inside. Those who say it can't be done are usually interrupted by those who are doing it. Step number 6, follow your gut feeling. Feelings are your GPS system for life. When you're supposed to do something or not supposed to do something, your emotional guidance systems let you know. Step number 7, improve your surroundings. Be careful of the environment you choose, for it will shape you. Be careful of the friends you choose, for you will become like them. Step number 8, make the commitment. Unless commitment is made, there are only promises and hopes, but no plans. Step number 9, take massive action. Things may come to those who wait, but only the things left by those who hustle. And lastly, step number 10, dream big, live bigger. Don't let the low standards and expectations of the world cause you to aim beneath your nobility and ability. Dream big. All right. I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. Fat shout out to all my my Instagram live people as well. Facebook live. I appreciate you. I'm gonna leave you with one quick story, right? So, Will Smith. I love this story. Actually, this is one of my best stories. But Will Smith, one time, his father said to break down a wall in his shop. He said, "If we break down this wall, I want you and your brother to rebuild the wall." His brother and Will Smith looked at him and said, "How am I going to rebuild this wall? It's impossible to rebuild this wall." His father said, "Well, you're looking at this the wrong way. You have this big wall, but instead of building the whole wall, I need you to focus on one brick at a time. One brick, and make sure that brick is the best possible brick. No matter what happens, just focus on that brick. Make sure it's the best brick. Make sure it's you do your best with this brick." Once you do that and you keep doing that over and over and over again, eventually you'll have this big wall. And so that's how I want you to look at your dreams, right? Your dreams is this big wall. And if you look at the whole wall, if you think about the construction of this whole wall, you might get overwhelmed. You might feel like you don't have the energy or whatever the case may be. All I want you to do is take one brick at a time. What can you do today that is going to help you build that wall. So take that wall, break it down into small steps, and all you have to focus is on today. Don't focus on yesterday, because yesterday is gone. There's nothing you could do to fix yesterday. Don't focus on tomorrow even, right? Because tomorrow is running from you. No one has ever lived tomorrow. Even when tomorrow comes, it's still today. So don't even think about tomorrow. Just think about today. Today, you know you have today for sure. Focus on today, and one brick at a time. Make it the best possible brick that you can make it, and then you will achieve your dream. All right. I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. I'll see you next week. Make sure you like the Bank Mobile page. You follow us on Instagram, Facebook, all of the above. And tune in next week, Monday at 12 p.m. for Money Mondays with Ash Cash. I am Ash Cash. See you later.